give us a presentation. Christina, your phone.
Thank you. My name is Christina Taylor. I'm a student here, and I do appreciate the special allowance for me. I'm not going to talk about the teachers because, as I understand, those monetary concessions have been met, so I don't know what that has to do with the budget. I am going to talk about the parking fee. I'm sorry that I don't have better numbers for you because I just got this paperwork this evening, but the most important thing to me is that apparently there are going to be 2,500 spaces available for parking, non-reserved, and you are expecting 9,600 students to pay the parking fee. Anybody? Math teachers? Okay, yeah. Additionally, I've heard quite a few students say that other community colleges in the area have a parking fee. Other community colleges in the area don't have, it was somewhere around 45 break-ins for the last year you had numbers available for vehicle thefts and break-ins. And it was PCC that I looked up had one in the same time period. So I'm not going to pay you steak prices for McDonald's. I get that this is a good way to make revenue. I was really surprised my very first day at Mount Hood that there wasn't parking. Additionally, I don't want a decal. Make it a hanging thing. I'm serious on that. And this is a good way to make revenue, and I appreciate that that needs to be done, but you just cut off access to one of the largest parking lots on campus and half of the one next to it. So I'm not sure if that's in your figure of 2,500 spaces, but we don't even have that many. Board members, I get that you don't understand what I'm talking about because you have spaces. This will cause disruption in the neighborhood. It will make Mount Hood a bad neighbor because people will park across the street in other businesses. People will park on the street, disrupting the neighborhood. This is not a good plan. You need to redo it before you implement it. Additionally, the idea was last year to do a $50 parking fee, which you went ahead and put into the student fee anyway. So we're already paying you a parking fee, and we're already paying the tuition increase. You keep raising things and telling us what that it's instead of this, but then you're just going to go ahead and raise it next year. And I know that thought didn't make any sense, and I'm sorry about that. But you're already charging us more each and every year, and I am not going to pay you to have to drive around the lot for half an hour to find a space.
Thank you. There were some questions that were asked during the break about this procedure, where we are, what it means, and I think the best person to address that is Heidi Franklin. Heidi?
Thank you. I think they wanted some clarification on what a proposed budget really is, and it's just that, proposed. The budget process is clearly spelled out for all governments in the state of Oregon under Oregon budget law, and you may recall that when Governor Kitzhaber took office, he had to give the legislature a proposed budget on February 1st, which he did. And now the legislature is in session deliberating over his proposal, and at the end they will adopt a budget into law that reflects some of what he proposed and other things that they have changed because they are ultimately the decision maker. So Mount Hood's process parallels that because we're governed by the same law. So the proposed budget was presented to the Budget Committee last April 20th by the President, but it's the start of the process. It's not the end of the process. The things in the proposed budget are just that. They're proposed. Discussion can continue. That's what these forums are about, these budget hearings. And even after the board, as Budget Committee approves the budget on May 11th, there will be yet another public budget hearing on June 8th that is held by the Tax Supervising and Conservation Commission, and there is time at that meeting for you to also have public input so that the board as governing body, before it adopts the budget, can also make amendments based on that input. And that's the process.
We'll take a few minutes if board members would like to address some questions to staff or make some suggestions as to what kind of information we'd like them to bring back the next time. We have a Budget Committee meeting when we will hope to adopt the budget 1 week from tonight. As Heidi Franklin just said, we can make some changes. We will, I guess, review the comments that were were made during this hearing tonight, and throw it open. We're missing a few board members tonight. We're down to 6, and Stu Shepard retired from board when he took a job in Salem. Rob Monroe, senator, he is in Salem and had to be at meetings tonight. And another board member was traveling for his job, so we're down to about 3 right now. So, Dave and Bev, do you have any questions or issues that you'd like to address?
Just a couple of things, Ryan. I think a couple of things we heard tonight were very good. First of all, I agree with Michael. We talked about the budget process, and we've had this discussion before. I think the budget process can be a little bit better. I think we're working on that. I hope with the development of the audit committee and putting that into a budget advisory committee next year, we'll work very effectively. We started a new process earlier. I appreciate those comments, and I think that it's not that we haven't thought about it before, it's just the amount of time it's taken us to put it together. At least we got the audit committee together, and I think the individuals that serve on that are well respected. We have the Gresham City Manager, I think we have the manager of On Point Credit Union, Wells Fargo, so we've got some very good individuals that work on it. Heidi works on it also. So I just want to say that's in the process of being developed. The other thing that came up is that, and I agree with this too, we don't have very good information on costs of programs. Janet Campbell addressed that very effectively. And one of the things that I'm going to really suggest that the board do, because we haven't done it for a while, and if we're going to have effective planning in terms of the budget next year, we think we're going to have a shortfall, is to implement a process where we have a process where we're doing program review, but I want a more analytical approach to this so that we can have some precise numbers that deal with costs of instruction. I think this is a continual question that we ask. It should be ongoing. And so what I propose at the next board meeting is that we direct the administration to put together a plan that will primarily look at the cost of instruction and the cost of programs related to direct costs, which is, and we have to do this in several different categories. Direct costs, that's instructional, plus materials for the particular classes. And then look at supporting costs, and there's a way that we can look at that as it relates to how much it takes to, if it's a restricted entry class, how much administrative time it takes, and so on and so forth. And then the intangibles, or tangible things that come up that, you know, the quality of the program, the need for the program, all those kinds of things that are there that we know that exist, but we don't state them very precisely, and we don't state them as often, or we don't review them as often. And I think we need to do that. So I'll bring that forward in the next board meeting so that we can have that as a formal charge to the administration, and probably try to have that the whole process outlined and available for us by the August retreat. How we doing? Okay. And present to the board for the August retreat. The last thing is that I feel on parking fee. I said this last, so it's not anything new. I don't like it. There's something about, and that comes from being a faculty member here for 31 years, and didn't always find the best parking places, by the way. But there's something about that, and I won't report. Heidi's done a great job of putting this thing together. It's just one of those things, if we have to make $450,000 worth of cuts, we make them somewhere else. There's something about access, and about student access is important, but also there's something about community access that's very important. As I drive by the athletic facilities, and I see people taking their kids or themselves for swimming lessons, they're only here for 20 or 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and I see all the soccer camps, and I see all those activities. How do you charge a fee to people that for $3 a day to come in and visit the campus? There's ways to work on this, but I don't think we're there yet, and so it does bother me. I know that we're going to have to balance the budget. So as a board member, as a budget committee member, if I say, well, I'm not going to support the parking fee, then I must also say, we'll still have to make that cut. We're going to make that cut. But it's a problem I've always had, and like I say, probably won't win that fight, but thank you.